Edgar Berlanga's a tough cookie.
Berlanga ain't scared. We saw that against Canelo. He will trade.
Seen him have, yeah, I think he's one of the better super middleweights. He's a tough fight for anybody in that division. He was a tough fight for Canelo.
Sheeraz, for me, was never a middleweight anyway. He was always too big for a middleweight.
Yeah, in that fight, if you're scoring, what was your verdict?
Sheeraz didn't win.
Do you think it was a draw?
No.
Welcome back to BoxCast. In this episode, we're going to look at the upcoming bout between Hamzah Sheeraz and Edgar Berlanga, and the undercard taking place on July the 12th, 2025 at the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, USA. I believe it's going to be streamed in the USA and in UK on DAZN, and probably worldwide as well. Okay, let me start with a tale of the tape. Hamzah Sheeraz has a record of 21 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 22 fights in total, 17 wins by KO. He's aged 26. He's 6'3", 191 centimeters tall. He's got a 75-inch reach, 191 centimeters. This fight, and correct us if we're wrong, but we think it's a super middleweight, 168 pounds, 76.2 kilograms. And Sheeraz fights out of an orthodox stance. Edgar Berlanga has a record of 23 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, 24 fights in total, 18 wins by KO. He's aged 28. His height is 6'1", 185 centimeters. Reach is 73 inches, 185 centimeters. And he also fights out of an orthodox stance. So this is basically a recovery from Hamzah Sheeraz's draw, shall we say, draw in quotes against Carlos Adames at middleweight. So he's stepping up in weight, I think, to the super middleweight and taking on one of the sort of main contenders in that division. And Edgar Berlanga's had his losses was against Canelo. But other than that, he's done quite well in that division. Because he was quite well ranked. He was 9th, but I think you could easily put him a bit higher than that. And Hamzah Sheeraz is coming up because he was in the middleweight. I think he's still ranked at number 3 in middleweight by Ring, but anyway, we'll go into that. So, what do you think on this fight, Simon? It's a make or break for Hamzah Sheeraz? Edgar Berlanga's a tough cookie at this weight. Obviously, Canelo took him out, but then Canelo is Canelo. So
Canelo didn't take him out.
Well, he ran from there, but beat him basically. Yeah, actually, Canelo hasn't taken anybody out for the last 4 fights, or 4 fights. So yeah, let me rephrase that. Beat him.
I mean, Sheeraz, for me, was never a middleweight anyway. He was always too big for a middleweight.
Yeah, I think he was.
Like
We've said that a few times, I think, isn't it? That is
6'3", and
he's even big for a super middleweight.
Yeah. How he ever made light middleweight. I mean, his last fight
was underwhelming, to say the least.
Yeah, and you go, was it weight draining? Was it suspected broken hand, or did he just not good enough? They're questions.
Well, I think it could be also overlooking the fight, because they were also like, was expected to win. He was the favourite, even though Adames is the champion. And I mean, I think we did say Adames is a good
yeah, I mean, these
boxer.
Are questions that are going to be asked about him on this fight.
Question for you: in that fight, if you're scoring, what was your verdict?
Well, Sheeraz didn't win.
Yeah. Do you think it was a draw?
No.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think Carlos Adames was the winner of that fight. I can understand why they're giving it a draw, but I think it's a little bit tight on Adames.
But this fight, like I say, he's going to have to ask a lot of questions. He's moving up to super middleweight.
Well, I think he's going to answer a lot of questions. He's going to get asked a lot of questions.
Is the move up good for him?
Maybe.
Hopefully. Mm-hmm. Was he weight trained at middleweight? We'll find out. Did he have that broken hand? I'm not I don't know. I didn't
Well, we
read
don't know till
much about it afterwards.
There is things to say about it, but you don't know for sure.
Is he as good as we think he is? I think he is good. Has he grown out? I'm going to say yes, he has grown out the weight.
I think there are a lot of excuses there, but the thing is, with those excuses, you've got to answer it, isn't it?
Yeah,
This is his opportunity to answer. I mean, but against a tough opponent, a tough super
Really, really tough opponent. It wouldn't have been the opponent I'd have picked for him. But maybe that's good because he knows he's going to have to be.
Well, maybe it's like some of these fighters, as we've said, they need the motivation.
You
You need to know that you've got to be on it.
On his game, Berlanga,
On his A game. A game.
Yeah, Berlanga ain't scared. We saw that against Canelo. He will trade.
I've seen him. I don't know if you've seen the press conferences yet. He's
high
he's
entertainment.
game for a fight. Yeah, I think he's one of the better super middleweights. He's a tough fight for anybody in that division. He was a tough fight for Canelo. He's not scared. He can scrap. He can go for a fight. I mean, I would say, right, well, let's break it down. On boxing ability, who do you think is better? Pure boxing ability. I would have said Sheeraz is the better technical boxer. Although we'll find out, but what would your thoughts?
50-50.
You think 50-50?
The only reason I'm saying this is just because how poor Sheeraz was in his last fight.
Yeah.
And he was poor.
Well, up until that point, you would have probably said he is the better technical boxer. I mean, I think Adamas, they underrated as well. I think they've a little bit, maybe not, maybe it was the other things, but it looked like they were sort of overlooking him a little bit, and you can't really do that with he's a world champion and a good world champion.
All right, let's just say he was weight trained. Let's just say he was properly weight trained, and that's the thing. This is a fight where Sheeraz can make a massive, massive statement and basically go, yeah, it was, I am a natural super middleweight.
I was weight trained. The excuses then will be accepted.
Because if he beats Berlanga quite handily, that's a massive statement.
That's a statement. I'm in the division now. In my new division.
Yeah.
What if he loses? Is he out then, or is
no?
Do you think maybe that's why they're taking like a Berlanga, because you can go, well, yeah, he is one of the better.
But he's got to because he's not a novice anymore.
Yeah.
He really isn't.
Well, there's not that much difference in their age, and he's 26 and 28, or he's still young, but it's not.
I mean,
that's not a baby age.
No, it's not.
He's had quite a few fights now as well. 22 fights.
22 fights. He should be beating if he wants to be at the top. Yeah,
he would have beat your Berlangas.
Yeah, but the same goes for Berlanga.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good statement for both.
Berlanga should be taking care of Sheeraz if he wants to be at the top. It's a great fight.
Yeah.
It really is a great fight.
All right, should we get back? Power, what do you think? Skill-wise, you're saying 50-50. I think Sheeraz is a little bit better on technical ability, pure boxing ability. In power,
well, you're going to have to go for Berlanga, aren't you, at super middleweight?
Yeah. Because we've got no evidence of how much Sheeraz, we don't know if it's going to carry or not. Sheeraz has got power, but Berlanga has got pop and a lot of knockouts. What is it? 18 and 24. So, I mean, percentage-wise, they're not that far apart.
50-50, isn't it?
Yeah.
Power-wise, I think.
Assuming Sheeraz can carry up, I say it's 50-50.
Yeah, and he should be able to carry up.
Well, especially if he's weight trained and stuff. So, yeah, okay, we'll give that as 50-50. We don't do boxing, ring IQ. That's a hard one to judge, isn't it? A Berlanga for experience, but then it's not that many more fights neither. And then sometimes he doesn't always do, because the ones who usually have a big pop don't always have the best.
Again, but for me, it's 50-50. That's why I think
I would say Sheeraz
fight.
Doesn't have more because he hasn't shown. When he was under adversity, he hasn't adapted.
No, he hasn't. When it's going his way, yes, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But again,
I think 50-50, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. What else have we got? Experience is about the same. I think obviously Berlanga a little bit. Like in fights, he's probably had a little bit better.
I think the experience against Canelo would have been better for Berlanga. Although you're going to go for Sheeraz, the experience against Adames and what he came through there, would that done him the world of good? Maybe, yeah, I'd say so.
Well, it should do. Hopefully it has. Yeah, because if you're looking at the fight cards, really, Berlanga's best fight is Canelo, obviously. And I think his is Adames. Draw, but I think both of them really should have lost. One did lose in the thing. Berlanga's probably a little bit more, but I think they're not that far apart.
This fight, like say, it's just
50-50.
Proper good 50-50 fight, this.
What else have we got left? What have I missed? So we got skill, power, ring IQ, experience, mentality. Again, I'd say that's 50-50, isn't it? And they both got to, well, I think it's as we said earlier, they both got to make a statement on it, hasn't it? Who's the... It's basically
just a proper 50-50 fight, this one. It really, really is.
I think if both of them want to live up to their billing, both of them have to win, isn't it?
Yeah, and that, you know, a lot of people will be going off Berlanga's fight against Canelo. I thought Berlanga did really well against Canelo.
Yeah.
He never seemed really hurt either against Canelo.
Well, yeah, I think he can take. He's quite robust.
And then, so, all right, so say let's.
Well, I don't think he's been.
Okay, so put this way.
He's been down once.
Who's got more power, Sheeraz or Canelo?
Canelo, one punch. Yeah. Well, from historical evidence, I would say Canelo, and there's a lot of people who've said he has. So, because there was people, I'm with you on it. There's quite a lot of people who are saying he was just running. Well, we've seen somebody who runs in Skull. That was just running. Although there's some people, you know, who argue the case on that he won, which I didn't see. But I can see their argument, but I don't think even based on their argument that it makes sense. Berlanga, I don't think did. I think he was
clever.
Yeah, I think he was cute on.
And he had a game plan which he stuck to.
Which, from his reputation, you wouldn't have thought that's the way he's going to fight.
The thing is if we go on the Canelo fight, Canelo does not throw a lot of punches.
No,
he really, really doesn't. He'll cut
as evidence that will present the Canelo versus William Skull fight, the lowest punching fight in the history of boxing.
What Canelo does do is he cuts the rings off and makes the openings to throw his punches.
Yeah. He's more efficient now than he used to be, where he break down. It's the mental pressure and they're backing him up.
Yeah, whereas Sheeraz, I think, will throw more punches.
Well, that's what he's been known to do, and it's a high output.
So for me, it's how will Berlanga be able to deal
with that? Yeah.
With that.
Because Berlanga threw in against Canelo, and in a lot of fights he throws in bunches, and then has a break, and then bunches, and then there's a bit of movement, whatever. It's not like like some of these fighters, even like Sheeraz and some of his, where it's boom, 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 boom. Yeah, he has little bits because he's obviously he's learning his game, but he's a pressure consistent.
But Berlanga's going to have to try and get inside on Sheeraz because he's a tall lad.
He's going to have the advantage, and he's got the 2 inches reach and 2 inches in height, which is quite a lot in.
Yeah,
I think. And past that jab, which normally, if his hand is working, is usually pretty good, his jab. I mean, Berlanga is a bit more unorthodox in some of his things. He can angle and get past them.
Yeah, he can. And he throws a good. He's got good footwork as well, Berlanga.
And he can put together punches quite well.
Underrated.
Yeah. Well, I think he's smarter. His ring IQ is higher than what. If you just look at his record and his fights, and because the way he speaks in the things promoting, you wouldn't give him as much. But if you actually watch his performance against Canelo and some of his other performance, he is a bit smarter than that. His ring IQ is a bit more than I think he's given credit for. This is a tough fight.
Yeah.
It's a big jump up. Who would you say is the favourite? Or is it 50-50?
I reckon Sheeraz is the favourite with the bookies.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, it is pure 50-50.
I would say a little bit. I think Berlanga, because it's his division and Sheeraz is stepping up. But looking at how we've gone through and discussed it, I would say it's a 50-50-ish fight.
It's a great fight. Really is a great fight.
assuming we take out what happened in the Adames fight and fights before with Sheeraz, I would say yeah. And then what Berlanga's done, including against Canelo, I think it's a good measure of where he is. Is he really world class? Because I think if he can pull it off, and depending on the style he pulls it off.
Look,
and again, I think for Berlanga as well, it's a good statement.
Yeah, for both fights, and this ain't the end. If either
no,
of them
I think
lose.
this is a tough fight, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a tough division,
and it may just be who's better on the day.
Yeah,
or something happens in the fight or something. I think it is. They're both good fighters. I think Sheeraz is a little bit more to prove because he's got to answer back. I think Berlanga a bit less to prove, but yeah.
Look, if you get beat by Canelo, you don't lose anything.
No.
I know that sounds bad, but you don't.
No. You're expected to. A super middleweight anyway, you're expected to. So, he's unbeaten at that weight. And nobody's really come close out of all the people.
You don't lose anything. Sheeraz, let's not forget, Sheeraz was this unstoppable force, especially in Britain. He was... this guy's is. Yeah. He was nailed on.
I think for Riyadh season they wanted him to be.
Yeah, he was nailed
like
on
one
to
of their stars, isn't it?
The next world champion.
Yeah.
He was untouchable. He was wasn't he the captain of the 5v5 in the Matchroom versus Queensbury? He did have. Let's say, I think we put a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Well, I think we were giving him quite a lot as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't we have him to win both of us, I think?
Quite easily.
I think we overlooked as well. So we can't blame him.
Or do you just have an off night in boxing? But you shouldn't have an off night when it's your first world title. Or is he just not that good?
Yeah. One of the things I was going to say is even if I think you can lose, but depending on how you lose, if it's a close points or something like that, or a good to and fro contest, or if you get caught by a punch, I think this could be a good measure of where he actually is. Win, lose, or, well, hopefully not draw, but
because let's be honest, he's never fought anyone at world-class level.
Other than Carlos Adames was the first. He was a world champion level. He sort of built up nicely and then jumped a bit to that because I think the excitement's taken over a little bit because I think Riyadh season wanted one a star, up and coming star. The excitement around him, I think they've rushed him a little bit to get to that level.
Because he was never.
I think he should have one or two more contests at above Tyler Denny level before you go to Carlos Adames level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's won in 2 rounds there. All right, Austin Williams took him for 11. But then he's in the first round, second round, 5th round. I think he needed a bit more, a couple of fights in between.
I think the problem was he was like the WBO European light middleweight champion.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the WBO light middleweight champion is. I'd have rather him been just plain European champion and fought round Europe against some top opponent.
Yeah, just raised it up a bit more.
But hey, he was getting rid of people super quick and, beating like Liam Williams and Bradley Skeet and them quite handily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think, but he is not a baby anymore. So you do have to.
You got to throw him in the deep end at some point and see can they sink or swim.
But
this is again throwing him in the deep end.
I do really like this fight. So it is a good one.
I think potentially it's a really, really good matchup, and the styles could be really, really.
Yeah, it's going to be
nice fight.
A banger.
How does Hamzah win? What does he have to do?
Patience.
Jab and box, basically. Box at a distance.
But
take opportunities if they come, but don't rush it.
I think he's got to be quite offensive, though.
Yeah, because I think if you don't, you're gonna basically give confidence to.
I think he's got to be quite offensive.
But I think he's got to be on the front foot in it. Put pressure on. He uses height and reach advantage. He can box and show that he can do that, and then take advantage of his openings. Don't be shy to take advantage of openings, but
I don't think
keep the pressure on and keep that. I think keep the high punch rate up.
Yeah, I think you need to higher a punch.
Yeah, to keep Berlanga at bay and then basically wear him down on points. Yeah, if you get an opening and if you can wear him down, take advantage and you can get him out of there.
Yeah.
But obviously nobody's got out of Berlanga, so maybe that isn't the primary aim. But box him. I think he's got a chance if he boxes him and on points.
Okay.
And I think he can frustrate Berlanga, and then it'll be closer in the first few rounds, up to halfway, I think, and then he can pull away a bit. Because you might get a rounds going a bit to and fro, but I think he can, if he keeps a high punch rate up, he can keep him at bay and get him there. All right. For Berlanga, what's your game plan? Because he's got to get in under that.
I have one worry with Berlanga.
Okay.
And it's either a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just wondering, I don't know whether he's got any respect for Sheeraz at all.
I was going to say, my worry is, do you think he's going to be overconfident?
Well, that can either be...
Or is he just playing games in his press conference?
I mean, that can either be a really good thing or...
But it might work out for him.
Gonna be really, really
he might
bad
walk
thing.
on something really bad.
Is he going in with that attitude of, mate, this guy shouldn't even be in the same ring as me?
Why is he want to fight with me?
Yeah.
Well, he's given a little bit of that in the vibe in the press conference and his team as well. But I don't know whether that's just gamesmanship. Because like I said, his ring IQ and his thing...
I think he will go in there, thinking...
Trying to get him out.
I am the better of the two of us, so...
Do you think he starts fast and then gives him a bit of a...
I do. And I think he will try and take Sheeraz out.
And basically make Sheeraz like a deer in the headlights type of thing.
Yeah. I think they maybe think that Sheeraz froze in his
chance.
Yeah, and they can do it again.
I think that's a good call. I can see that. I think that might be the tactic, because just lay it on him. Go for it.
We shall see.
And then it's basically put the pressure on Hamzah to Sheeraz and see if can he cope, or is he... Yeah, I think that's dangerous. If Sheeraz can, then he can catch him, because obviously you've seen his left hooks, right hooks, his range punching is good. But it's whether he can cope, isn't it? Like if he goes off in the first few rounds like that, then it's going to be a tough fight. But if he can cope with it, that's why I think it could be to and fro. Berlanga's chance?
Just as good as Sheeraz. I am properly sat on the fence 50, on here, 50. Mate, honestly. Properly sat on the fence.
So you think if he puts it on him to try and get him out of there, or puts it on him and then just basically makes him wilt and just boxes him out? Or do you think he's going to think, I can get this guy out of here?
Yeah, I think Berlanga's one of them where I might be wrong, he will try and embarrass him and just make him think.
I get that vibe as well.
Yeah, I might be completely wrong about him.
I think he's a bit smarter than that.
I don't know him personally,
but you get that vibe from the press conferences. Which obviously Hamzah Sheeraz's corner should be prepared for. They should have been ready. But you never know until the moment that you're in there.
But you always say, don't they, beware the quiet man.
Yeah.
Beware that quiet man.
Well, I think if they're prepared for it, then and you can get ready for it, it may just he walks into what, you can get an early stoppage for Sheeraz then. Do you think he can get Sheeraz out, Berlanga? Because you haven't really seen Sheeraz rocked, have we? He's usually quite good and quite...
you don't know, because like I say, it's a new division for...
It's a step up in power as well, and so you're the heavier guys.
You look at...
Berlanga's pretty heavy-handed.
You say, the step up doesn't make a difference. Look at Joe Calzaghe when he first stepped up to light heavyweight. He's dropped by the two fighters in the first round. All right, he come back and won, but the power, I think, is a little bit... Especially if it's a natural weight.
Yeah, if it's a fighter in a natural weight class. And he's a big fighter in super middleweight, Berlanga.
Yeah. Honestly... That fence, I am sat.
All right, let's go on then.
I am sat on it.
Time. Prediction time.
What are the bookies' odds?
Right, let me go. Actually, they haven't got them on there, so I need to find them. So 10 to 11 for Berlanga.
He's the favourite.
Yeah, 23 to 18 for Sheeraz. So only by like a bit, and the draw is 18 to 1.
Yeah, I thought Berlanga might be the favourite.
And on our predictions on...
I'm reckoning Berlanga is over 60% favourite.
Yeah, 2/3 for Berlanga, 1/3 for Sheeraz. It's 2/3 for Berlanga by KO. So basically, people are not think he's going to go for it from the beginning. Sheeraz decision like 19%, and Sheeraz KO by like 14, just over 14%. So yeah, I think it's the step up in weight, isn't it?
Yeah.
And probably the people who are putting this one on, how many people put on here? Fair few. They will know more of Berlanga than Sheeraz, I think. I think if you did it with a UK one, that's probably a bit more even.
Sure.
Did it help you?
No. No, because like I say, I'm 50-50 on it. I could say...
The problem is who do you want as well?
Yeah.
Because obviously he's fought Berlanga,
Sheeraz. And, you know...
I mean, I don't have nothing against Berlanga.
You know...
But we've been following Sheeraz for a while. So.
Sheeraz KO round 4 keeps coming to me, but Berlanga breaks him down and smashes him to pieces and takes him out in 8 rounds comes to me as well. I don't
see both.
I don't think it goes.
I think
to
it's
points.
who turns up on the day, who's actually and executes the game plan the best.
Well, I can't make a decision, but I'll tell you, it won't go to points.
Okay, give both then. So you got.
I think
Sheeraz,
I think Sheeraz round 4. I don't know why that just comes
and
to
Berlanga round 8.
Yeah, breaks him down and it just maybe and it won't be a knockout. I think the corner will stop it.
Okay, I'm gonna go for Sheeraz on points.
Points for Sheeraz.
And I'm going to go for Berlanga in 4 rounds KO. So we'll have but 2. Because it is 50-50. Because I think for Berlanga to win, he's going to get him out. It'll be that blitz and get him out of there and then take him, wear him down. Maybe, no, actually, I'll go for 3. Round 3.
Oof. Okay.
Basically where Sheeraz is a deer in the light and doesn't stand it. And I think if he gets past that, I think Sheeraz will outpoint him. I think he'll get a bit more confidence and go into it. So that's my thoughts on it. And yours is 4. Yeah, so he'll get him out of there quick. And then if not, or it'll be Berlanga wearing him out. Okay, cool. So that's our predictions. Let us know your predictions and thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe as usual. I should have said that at the beginning. Give us your comments on this. What do you think? Do you think Sheeraz can step up, or do you think Berlanga has got this in the bag? What do you think of Sheeraz's name being first against Berlanga? I would have thought Berlanga should be Berlanga versus Sheeraz, isn't it, rather than...
Is it a Riyadh season event?
I was trying to see, isn't it? But it's in the US, so I think it's in the card. Anyway, we can let that go.